Hey folks, today is Tuesday, June 18th, 6:03 p.m. My name is James, and let's take a look and see what happened today. So we finally got a breakout of the flag that was forming on the S&P, the Dow, and the NASDAQ. We didn't really get a lot of follow through on it, except on the Dow. The S&P kind of broke higher and then pulled back almost all day, so it held its gap up, but didn't really follow through all day long. So there's the S&P there. See the NASDAQ, same kind of thing. It almost looks like a shooting star, which is really bearish. I don't actually think it's a shooting star. In candlestick patterns, you basically have to see it confirmed the next day in order to confirm that that's actually what it is. So that means the market would have to sell off tomorrow and break below the low of this bar in order to confirm it as a shooting star. I don't think it's a shooting star because even though it shows like the Russell doesn't have a shooting star and the Dow also does not have a shooting star. So I don't think there's enough confirmation across. Of course, the NASDAQ and the S&P are kind of broader. They've got a lot more stocks in there to give a broader view of what happened. But I just don't think they're shooting stars. I think the market just didn't have any follow through. I think the market is still feeling pretty cautious going into Wednesday because of the rate hike. And a lot of today's move was based off of the tweets in the morning, where we had some more China news, positive China news that kind of boosted everything higher. But I just think the market's waiting on the Fed rate hike decisions. So that's most likely why the S&P and the NASDAQ were kind of cautious, I guess. Let's go into the list. Shopify didn't really get much move today, which that kind of told me that there wasn't a lot of follow through going on. It didn't even have that much volume. It's just within, I drew the lines, I adjusted them a little bit. It looks like a pennant to me. It's still consolidating. It still looks pretty good. But stuff like Trade Desk, ROKU, Shopify, MDB, they didn't really see a lot of upside action, which kind of confirmed to me this isn't really a big move. It's more like there was a pop for a reason and then consolidation or just a pause in the market for the rest of the day. Stone, it did close higher out of the line or above the line, but not a lot of follow through again. I think we got to wait and see what happens after Wednesday. Rapid 7 still underneath the line. NC had fallen through. That looks pretty good. So today was the breakout. The volume was really good. That was a nice breakout. My stop would be right at the line. Try to enter at the line, and that's where my stop would be. Actually, I would probably have $1 below that line. I'd wait. I try to get to break even as fast as possible, but I notice a lot of times if you let it break out and you move too quick to break even, the stock can come back and test the line, but not necessarily break below it, and then still bounce up and go. So it might be $1 below the breakout point on NC. Carvana looked really good earlier, but again, as things pulled back, Carvana pulled back. So it did close above the line, but not a lot of follow through on that move through the day. Funco still consolidating underneath that line. Looks pretty good to me. Some of these look really good. And this list is getting really long, by the way. I think a lot of things look like they're getting ready to set up because I think the market really wants to go higher. But we need a bit of a catalyst. We need a bit of confirmation, like the Fed rate thing, the tariffs. There's still a lot of overhang on what some of this news could bring. Planet Fitness did not break out. It tried to get close, but still within the pattern. Still looks pretty good. Match, it did come over the line, but again, this is consolidating. I think it might need to actually pull back once more to get to the lower line and come back up again. We'll see, but that's not ready yet. This guy moved. So it tried yesterday and couldn't go, went today. Volume was okay. Stopped at the blue line. There's the 100-day moving average. But yeah, that was a nice move. Docs tried but couldn't go, didn't really have any volume. That will need more time to go. Pinterest closed up 95 cents, so it opened high and sold down, but still it's out of the pattern now, so it may continue higher. PagerDuty, that's not ready, needs more time. So Mongo, so see, it was up I think about $6 at one point, and then just kind of sagged. This kind of moved the same way as Shopify. Shopify was up $5 or $6 at one point, and then everything just kind of sagged back down. Not a lot of momentum. So that's what kind of told me this isn't really a big follow through move higher day. It's more like we got a pop on news or potential coming news, and then everything just kind of sagged, or a lot of things sagged. Some things broke out, some things sagged. The ones that have really been aggressively moving higher, they just paused. They continued their pause. So Trade Desk, same thing, was down $2.93, but still within this consolidation area. ROKU, same thing, just continuing that consolidation. Yandex is also in a small consolidation after breaking out. CarMax, same thing, just a bit of a pause after moving higher. Zscaler, same, broke out of the pattern here, consolidating up here. It's nice to see it not give all the gains back. That's nice to see. Proficient did move higher, so that was a nice break and continuing higher. That's pretty good looking. Etsy, this guy might be done. It broke out there, couldn't really get momentum, was sent right back to the line, and now breaking below it again. That's not good behavior. I would probably sell that, or if you were probably stopped out if it came back to the line. So that doesn't look very good to me. Lulu looks amazing. That was a nice rebound and break up the line, and it's just been going up since then. That looks really good. My stop would be right there. Just let her go. Looks great. ServiceNow, really good move. $8, really high volume. So the entry would have been here one of these days. It came back, never broke, never came below the buy point if you were really, really close. Or even if you kept a dollar stop or something really close to it, since it bounced up and came back. But yeah, another $8. It's up into new highs there. Wow, that looks really nice. Tandem tested the lower line again, but held. The trend lines, the moving averages are holding it down right now, so it's kind of squeezed in there, but have to see if it can hold the lower line, make its way back up to potentially break out. That needs a bit more time. Chegg, that still looks all right. The breakout was there, came back. Again, if you had like a dollar stop below the entry, you'd still be in, because this, even though it came back, it didn't close below the line, so it held it, bouncing back up. And even though that's a kind of a bearish bar today, the price is still higher than the breakout point. So I would just hold it. My stop would be down here someplace. So that still looks pretty good. We'll see what it does. Might sell off. Don't know. Have to wait and see. Coupa, I was thinking about this one earlier. This would not be a place to enter. It's more like I'm just keeping an eye on it for a continuation pattern, because the real entry was here. There was an entry there, but then earnings were in here, and I never recommend anybody hold anything over earnings. So this move, you might have got out over here as it approached earnings. Then it rebounded higher. There was a resistance point there that it broke. That would have been another entry. And even though it dipped down here, it never would have touched your stop, or at least came super close to it, bounced off, and then we're just consolidating. But that's not an entry. This area is not a place to get into Coupa. You should have been in from there. So if you're not in, just watch it. Don't bother. Look at this OLED. I can't believe this move. $11 off the bull flag. That's fantastic. So again, normally I personally don't like to enter off little bull flags like that, but wow, did that have momentum. So you could have tried it. And I just added this one, CYBR. There's really a clear line right there. And where do I have that entry? 134.28. Yeah, if it breaks that, it looks like it might. I bet that thing goes quite a bit higher. I added Netflix back in because of a falling wedge. So here's another falling wedge. I was in this trade from here to here. But the thing that I thought was significant is the fact that it made a move like that and it's held practically all of that gain. The lowest lows are down here, but all that gain is still there. It's basically gone completely sideways. And now we've got a falling wedge. So on Netflix, I have an entry of 361.77 right now. That's about where the line is over here. So if it breaks that and actually goes higher, I think Netflix is actually going to go quite a bit higher. If it can break there, the market has momentum, Netflix has volume and momentum, all of those things. Last stock in here is Zoom Video. The earnings popped it higher and then it's just gone sideways and it's formed this little pennant. So again, it's a short-term pennant, but because it's right after earnings, there might be a lot of momentum sitting in the stock waiting. It's held that game pretty nicely. There might be some momentum that comes in and takes it higher. I would recommend giving this one a try. I think it could really go higher. That's one of the newer IPOs, and there's a lot of hoopla around them. Could go higher. Keep an eye on it. So that's it. What's today? Tuesday. Next video will be tomorrow. I'll see you then.